Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day. Absolutely amazing morning, everybody. Come on, Facebook, build me an audience. I actually had a second, so I wanted to jump on here and share with you guys. I got a couple of things that are on my heart, on my mind, on my spirit that I want to pour into you right now. Anytime that I get full of good stuff, you know I got to give it to you as well. I'm actually waiting on my guy, Mr. Mike. I was actually on my way out of town, going to get it in down in Dayton, and unfortunately I forgot something, but it worked out perfectly because now I'm going to be able to meet up with my guy. But anyway, I'm going to start with this. If you are just beginning anything right now, just woosah. All right, get very comfortable with where you are in your process right now. I want to share with you a quick story about me. I love sales. I absolutely love what I do. I love helping people. I love sharing with people. I love the process of growth. And I want to speak to a lot of the people that are brand new in any endeavor that they're in right now, especially the people that happen to be a part of either our business or that are in our business or an agency, or the people that will be getting with us very, very soon. Shout out TDT, the Dream Team. We're doing big things. Come on now. But anyway, I want to talk to all you guys right now because I remember a time in my life not so long ago that I was starting something brand new. I was in a brand new process, right? I think the saying goes that you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. So I want you to think back to anything that you're incredible at right now that you weren't so good at when you first started, right? I mean, we could go back to our very early childhood. We could go back to us being a baby, right? And you hear people talk about it all the time. When you were a baby, you weren't too good at walking in the very beginning, so you had to take gradual steps, right? First, you started to kind of wobble a little bit. First, your parents were scared that you were going to kind of roll off the bed, right? That was your process. And then you kind of got up on your fours a little bit and maybe started to crawl, and maybe you started to pull yourself up on the chair or on the table or whatever it was. Maybe you would take a couple of steps and you would fall right back down. You were just trying to get your feet under you, get your legs under you, and you had to go through this process just to get to the stage where you could walk. And now many of you are running, and many of you are speed walking, and now you become an athlete. But no matter what you're doing right now, no matter what stage of life that you're in, you have to go through the same exact process of growth. So I remember not too long ago, I started with a company. It's called Dial America, right? It was one of the first sales jobs I had ever had. And I remember going in there, and they would give you a script. They would give you a script to start out, right? It was a very, very simple script. You could read it pretty much verbatim on the phone, and you would get sales. And I remember doing that. My first sales job ever was in retail at a place called The Buckle. I was 16, really, really young, didn't know what I was doing. I had a fear of just walking up to random people and saying, hey, can I even help you today? I had no idea how to even begin. I was just like, okay, so what you're telling me is on a daily basis, you want me to walk up to complete strangers, including women, and say, how can I help you in your wardrobe? That just made no sense to me. So I remember going to Dial America, and they gave me this very, very simple script. And when they gave me the script, I remember looking at it, and I remember taking it home that night and just reviewing it over and over and over, and just looking over it and trying to remember it. And I would read it to myself and then close my eyes and read it all over again. And I would keep going. And then the next day I would go into work, and people would ask me questions on the phone that I had no idea how to even respond. So I would go back to my manager or whatever, and I would just going through this process. Guys, I want you to write something down. There's 4 levels to learning, right? There's 4 levels to learning, right? First, you have your learning knowledge, right? Your 4 levels. You have your learning knowledge, where you're taking something brand new in, right? Either you're reading that book, or they're giving you a brand new script for your business, or they're giving you more information to do your job effectively. That's where you're going through your learning knowledge. What graduated me and got me a lot better in every single endeavor I've had is the next stage of learning. That's your modeling knowledge, right? So that's where you actually find somebody That's where you actually find somebody to model. That's where you find somebody that has the proven results, that has the success, that you love their sales technique. I remember at Dial America, there was a young lady that used to use something very simple. And if you guys ever worked a business like this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In order to close somebody on the phone, there was something you would have to say in order to get them to say, okay. Now in the script, right, if you've ever done this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But in the script, there wasn't anything necessarily to say, okay, how do I get this person to say okay? You could read it as effectively as you want, but there's something that you have to say in your tone, in your tonal pattern, that will get someone to say okay, and because they said okay, you'll make your commission. And I remember listening to this young lady over and over. She sat right behind me, I'll never forget. And the way she said okay after any of her statements caused the caller or the person that was on the phone to say the same thing. So I began to repeat that, and I got better, and my sales increased, right? That modeling knowledge came in. I know people in the business right now with what we're doing, right? There's a lot of people that are incredible producers that I said, you know what? I can do exactly what they're doing, but let me find out how they did it. Let me find out what their work ethic is. Let me find out how effective they are with what they're doing and why. Let me find out if they are using any specific questions, but let me practice that. Now, where most people make the mistake is, instead of going to the next level after modeling, straight into teaching, right? We got a bunch of people out here that want to teach something that they don't even know about. You have to go into your activity knowledge, because that's where the most knowledge is gained. That's where you're going to go through the bruises. That's where you're going to go through the cuts. That's where you're going to go through the burns. That's where you're going to go through your process of learning, where you're going to get the most results, right? That activity knowledge. Modeling is fine, right? Getting home, reading all the books, listening to all the audios, right? With what I'm doing right now in insurance. My guy, Nick, what's going on, my man? What's going on, Marcus? What's going on? Derek, what's going on, everybody? Hey, I really appreciate the likes and the shares, guys. Please make sure you're putting this out to at least one other individual. You know that it's going to continue to impact lives, and that is our goal. So, again, guys, you can listen to all the audios, right? You can listen or read all the books. You can read Think and Grow Rich over 1 million times. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right. Sorry about that. So again, I mean, no matter what you're doing, the knowledge is not difficult to get to. There's nothing new under the sun. So I say it all the time. If information is all we needed, everyone would be healthy, wealthy, and wise, right? If weight loss tips is all you needed to lose weight, you do it. But nothing is going to happen in your business or your life until you put in the work, until you put in the activity. More is gained, right? More is gained on a daily basis from activity than there is from you thinking, right? Clarity comes from thought, I apologize. Clarity comes from action, not thought. I'm going to repeat that. Clarity comes from action, not thought. So as many trainings as you want to go to, as many videos of mine that you would like to watch, as many Tony Robbins, as Les Brown, if you got somebody in your business that's doing incredible and they give you their presentation, none of that is going to matter until you get out there and do it yourself. Until you get out there and do it yourself. What's going on, Ryan? What's going on, Bradley? Hope you guys are having an incredible day. So getting back to what we were talking about earlier, you don't have to be great to get started, but you must get started to be great. You are going to go through these levels in your process where it's going to get easier. It has to. The big shooter is simply the little shooter that just kept on shooting. And I could say cliches for days, but I want you all to understand that no matter where you are in your process of life, the idea is growth at the end of the day. Right? The idea is not, hey, I just want to become incredible in this business. No, I want to be a better person every day, because as you grow, as you become more valuable as a person, you'll be able to bring more value to the marketplace. And I promise you, they will reward you accordingly. So the lesson for today, guys, is understand, first of all, where you are in your process. Understand that the minute that you decide to keep going, and what will continue to keep you going, well, that's going to be your end result. Become very, very clear on exactly what it is that you want. What's going on, Miss Stephanie? Hey, I appreciate, once again, guys, the likes, the loves. Please share this with at least one other person. Let's go ahead and get these messages out here, because that's what's really going to cause a change, especially in our economy, but ultimately in your life. There's somebody that helped me along the way. There's somebody that said, Damon, you know what? I see so much potential in you. I see so much life in you. I see so much, I see so much love in you. I want to pour into you so that way you can pour into other people. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to impact billions of people's lives. And we can do it through you. So once again, guys, I really appreciate your time today. The objective for today is decide, first of all, what you want. Is it more money? Is it more clarity? Did you say the last level of learning? Yeah, the last level of learning is teaching knowledge. So the first level of learning is going to be learning knowledge. That's where you're in the classroom. That's when you're learning what to do. I'll take our business, for example, because I imagine a lot of people from our business get on here. But that's when you're going over your presentation. That's when you're learning the door approach. That's when you're learning your introduction. That's where you're learning how to close. Those are all the learning stages that you're going to go through. But above that, you're going to graduate to something called modeling knowledge. We all know somebody in the business that's doing absolutely incredible. Maybe you're in the business and now you want to take your game up a little bit and get into management or get into ownership of your own agency. Well, there's always someone that's doing a lot better that you can model yourself after. Right? At the end of the day, that's really all it's about. If you just simply model somebody's activity and their knowledge and their work ethic, you're going to get their same results. There's no way to avert that. But once you go from that level, then you have to go to activity knowledge. That's when you're really, really ingraining those ripples in your brain, right? That's when you're really understanding. You're going through those levels of consciousness, right? You're going through those levels of learning your craft, of getting better in your craft. You know, I would have never known how to do even the Facebook Live videos or been comfortable enough to do them until I started. You don't need to be incredible to get started. You just got to go through the same process as anybody else and just continue it. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And once you do that, and once you have proven results, once you can show some type of results, now you can go out there and teach it, which is exactly where I am in my business right now. I love grabbing somebody and saying, yo, let me put you in my car and I'm going to show you how to get 6 figures this year. Why? Because I've done it. Let me put you in the car and let me show you how to impact your life on a daily basis with these incredible audios. Why? Because I've done it. Let me show you how a young man that was making $9 an hour moving furniture for a company called 2 Men in a Truck goes from that to almost $250,000 a year. Why? And this is not about me. It's so much about other people. So again, guys, share this with somebody today. If you continue on this process, if you understand you have to go through this process of learning, you have to go through this process of development. And if you never ever quit, we will see you at the top, but not